Spencer Ross is one step forward, and I hope you're doing well. I want to talk about balance. There's a lot of areas in your life that balance applies to. I just want to make a mention about it for this week. So, if you're starting a business, you need to balance your time. If you are planning a night out for yourself and some friends, you need to balance your time and what you've got going on. If you're applying for a new job, you need to balance how much you're studying for the job, possibly working out for it, whatever the case may be. So let's talk about something I haven't talked about before. Let's say you're a new boss or a new employee. It's going to take you time to develop relationships with the people either on your team or in your organization. It's going to take you time to learn what that organization culture is. There are some things you're going to need to address right away. There are some things that you're going to need to learn about to see if you need to address them down the road. There are some things that you're going to need to learn about to find out if that's just the way they do it and there's a financial reason why they do it, or it's a cultural thing why they do it, or maybe that's just the way they've always done it and it's going to take you time to develop a new way of doing something, or that's just a different way to do it and it's okay. There are thousands of ways to do something sometimes. Just because you have a way doesn't mean it's better than somebody else's way, it's just a different way. Someone was talking about being left-handed. I'm right-handed. Okay, they do it a different way. In the old days, people used to kill people who were left-handed. Why? Because it was not normal or whatever they wanted to call it. But it takes time to learn if, okay, they do it a different way. It's okay. They just do it a different way. It doesn't make it any slower or faster. Maybe it's slower, but it's cheaper, or maybe it's faster and it's not as accurate. Who knows? You need to adjust on the organization that you go to. You need to find that balance. If you're trying to develop relationships, are you being patient? Leadership takes time. There are, again, some things that you're going to need to address right away. But if you walk into an organization and you're a new boss, congratulations for getting promoted or getting a new job at some place. Okay, go greet everyone. That's a simple thing. You're not going to be everyone's friend right away. Is it your job to be everyone's friend? I don't know. There are times when you're going to need to be someone's friend and mentor. And as a friend and mentor, you're also going to need to discipline people. So you need to find that balance. There are a lot of good books on this, a lot of good YouTube videos and news articles and mentors that you can talk to about this. But balance what they give you advice on and what you've read advice on to what you're dealing with. There are going to be similarities in what you're dealing with. Apply that. See where the commonalities are. Ask good questions. Who did it? Why? When? Where? How was it done? How did you perceive it? Okay, I'm going to go talk to someone else. You don't have to tell everyone what you're doing. You need to balance how open you are with what you're trying to accomplish. There are times that you're going to walk into a new organization as a boss and you're going to have to learn. That's okay. You have the ability to do that. You have the skills that got you there. Keep going. If you've done something wrong and you're trying to rebuild that relationship with someone, don't rush. Balance that want to be forgiven, to want to have that relationship restored, into letting them feel comfortable with you again. That goes with balancing. You're going to have to read the room. It's hard. It's a skill that you have to develop. It's a skill that you're going to have to ask advice on. You're going to grow faster by getting advice from other people. You're going to grow faster by taking relevant information in, thinking about it, and applying it. If you just learn from your own mistakes, you're going to be an old person before you learn all the mistakes you can. There's 1,000 different variations of something. Are you balancing your time to learn, apply, study, ask for help, whatever the case may be? As a leader, you need to balance your time. If you need to meet 50 people in a week, Do you really need to meet 50 people in a week? Maybe you have one big meeting and you say hi, you introduce yourself, and then you tell them that you plan to meet with everyone individually in the next couple of weeks. There, you've met everyone in a group meeting that is not as personal as you might want it or need it to be, because maybe you've been brought in to solve an issue. Maybe you've brought in because somebody died, and the person who's been leading the company for 30 years, well, that was your dad. And now you need to do some things. There's some ideas that you have. You need to balance your ideas with what the culture is. Again, sometimes you're going to change stuff right away, but there might be some pushback. There might be some resistance to your leadership style. Be patient with people. Don't be in a rush to crush. Don't be in a rush to change things. There are some things, and I keep saying this because there's always going to be someone who criticizes you in a meeting or behind your back or whatever. You need to balance how you deal with that. Ask for advice. There's great mentors out there. I keep hammering mentors. I keep hammering talk to people, say hi. Why? Because a lot of people don't do it. Are we asking for advice? Yes. Okay, cool. Are you asking advice from multiple people? If there's someone that you don't like, are you asking them for advice? It's a great way to build a relationship with that person. But if they don't like you, they might give you bad advice. So you're still trying to develop that relationship, but maybe you don't listen to all of their advice. But maybe you have that conversation to help build that relationship. But it's going to take some time. You need to balance your time of building a relationship with 50 people or one person with the tasks that you have to do today, with the relationships that you have outside of work, or if you're talking about the home, the relationships you have at work. Going out to have a couple beers with the guys is okay, but maybe your wife's pregnant and she needs you to come home. Okay, how are you going to balance your time? I didn't want to make a long video this week because I wanted to focus on balance. This week is Thanksgiving here in America, and as you are going through these holidays, are you balancing your time? Are you balancing your personal time with yourself? Sometimes you just need some quiet away from all the noise and distractions. Don't take too long because sometimes your loved ones need you too. Are they struggling? Are you balancing your needs and their needs? As a leader, it's hard. You've got to balance a lot of things. Other people's needs, other people's wants, your needs, your wants. Sometimes you want something and you don't get it because your kids need your time. Your employees need your time. Your coworkers need your time. If you're a brand new person at a job, maybe you buy everyone a cup of coffee and say, "Hey, I'm Spencer. It's my first week, my end of the first week, and I just wanted to say thanks for welcoming me on board." Even if you had a horrible week, sometimes you put on that face for a little bit, right? We've talked about this. You can tell when someone's faking it, but sometimes you put on that smile for a little bit to try to bridge that gap. You're not going to be happy all the time, but you don't have to lash out or be the negative person. Are you balancing what you're doing? Are you having a good time? And if you're not, are you adjusting? If you're having too much of a good time, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but even on vacation, you can still be a leader. So if you've gotten a new job, congratulations. If you're a new employee, congratulations. Balance your time. Remember, it's going to take time to build those relationships. So balance what you've got to do in your workday with what you need to do as a leader to be the best mentor you can be. Spencer Ross with One Step Forward. And how are you balancing your time? How are you balancing your leadership? Are you being the best coach you can be at work and on the field? Or are you just being that guy just standing on the sidelines? Have a good week.